Hey, what is going on? Welcome to week 6 of our AI Agent of the Week series. My name is Arva Craig with Bot Builders, and we are here to talk about another AI agent. Again, this is week number 6. So if you go through my feed, you will see the past series of agents. You know what? I might take it down. So while the series is active, now is your chance to grab all the content and see. I'm posting on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. But once we get through number 12, we might take the whole thing down and kind of repackage it and do something else with it. So be sure to check out all the old agents. Last week was the Lindy Assistant, which is crazy powerful, which kind of hints at where I believe agents and assistants are headed, which we're going to get into today. Before that, we talked about Claude Cowork. Before that, we talked about like agent teams of agents. We talked about Claygent, and all B2B and go-to-market strategies with Clay, with large lists, things like that. Before that, I know the first week was on my speaker agent suite and the 3 agents used for speaking. And I think week number 2, let me go through my past posts and see what we talked about on week number 2. Let's see. Week number 3 was Claude Cowork. 2 was So 2 was Clay, and number 1 was the agent, was the speaker suite of agents. Now let's get into today. So again, if you haven't seen the past ones, really recap. AI agents are not just AI. It's AI that has a set of functionalities that make it kind of unique. Typically, a formal definition or an itemization of what makes an agent is that it has its own identity. There's a system prompt. It has triggers. It plans. It thinks. It takes actions. It has access to tools. It has memory, and it outputs some type of result. I kind of break down agents in 3 types. You've got LLMs, like again, every AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, have an agent feature. So they can do some things, they can take steps and create stuff. So there's agentic features inside of large language models and big chatbots, but there's standalone apps like Replit, Descript, Cursor, a lot of coding agents, but then also, those are kind of the app standalone agent types. And then you got no code agent builders, agent workflows like Lindy, N8N, Make, Zapier, Gumloop, things like that. They're more like no code workflow agent type tools. Okay. So today I want to kind of break down something new. Okay. So typically I would compare an AI as a standalone chatbot or large language model. Again, a basic AI, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, which, like I said earlier, they can have agentic capabilities. You got AI agents, which are more autonomous. They are integrated into other tools and kind of follow step-by-step workflows that you can kind of build. They can access other tools, and there is scheduling that can be available for an agent type of system. Now, today I want to talk about something new and different. I'm going to call it a PPA. You heard it first. I'm going to call it a PPA. What's a PPA? It's a persistent personal agent, or a persistent personal assistant or agent. So it's kind of unique, and that's where this whole Claude bot, Moat bot, OpenClaw phenomenon, I want to put it in this category. So it's like an agent, but again, the difference is that it is persistent or proactive in what it does and how it remembers you, and its own, even its memory is persistent, and it creates a whole new opportunity, a whole new relationship and functionality with what AI can do. Okay, so again, the one main product out today is OpenClaw. That's the current name for it, because it has changed names over the past few weeks, and they are now the founder of OpenClaw is now an employee of OpenAI, but the OpenClaw open source model and tool system and suite and kit is accessible for anyone. Again, so what makes this thing unique? I got just 3 basic things that make it unique. It can teach itself how to solve its own problems or your problems. It can proactively offer you suggestions offer you ideas. It doesn't have to wait for your instructions. Very, very different. And then lastly, it can create for itself skills for ongoing predetermined workflows and best practices. So again, a lot of these things you could say are already possible in an AI and an agent, but the persistent, proactive nature is really the core thing that makes it unique. And again, and I say can because, and for the most part, you have to teach it to be proactive. You have to train it how to, be persistent and how to come up with stuff. So there's a little bit of, that's the risk and the opportunity, because most people use OpenClaw. The trend has been, it's only been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, people will buy their own Mac Mini computer and they will install OpenClaw on that computer, and then they've been giving it almost unlimited rights and freedom to do all kind of stuff, which is risky. That's why people use their own computer. They do not put this thing on their main computer with all this freedom, because the AI itself is not going to have a mind of its own, and it's not going to go crazy, but there is a thing called prompt injections where other people in emails and websites know how to talk to AIs. So if your AI is reading the internet, reading your email, if it's going through everything online, it can pick up foreign instructions that will tell it to do crazy stuff. So that's why you have to limit its access to what it can do, where it can function, because if it can access the internet and any content out there, and it has access to your email or your website, and can reset your passwords and talk to your bank, then that's not good. So anyway, that's OpenClaw. What else did I have in here? So I did a quick comparison, or I had another AI do a quick comparison for me. There's 2 ways to kind of use it. Most people originally were spending $500 setting up a Mac Mini, or if they have an old computer, dusting off an old computer, which is very, it's great because of the privacy, the data privacy. It's a one-time investment, and then you just have, credits with whatever AI model that you're using with it. You have all control and customizations. Again, it's great if you have spare hardware or you have the money to buy one. Alternatively, there have been people coming up with virtual private servers, or ways you can do it on the cloud, whether it's Cloudflare or the thing MyClaw. There's tons of and developing solutions where if you're not techie and you don't want to buy a computer, and again, technically you could set up a VPS on your own if you are a developer, but if you're not a developer like me, you can find third-party companies that can set up a VPS for you. And you can see here some of the benefits: 24/7 uptime, access to multiple devices and locations, a quick setup, zero maintenance, and elastic scaling capability. One other thing I didn't put here, again, the price difference. A VPS with OpenClaw is going to cost you $30-$40 or more per month, infinitely, right? So after a year, you're at $500, $600. Second year, right? If you do the Mac Mini, that's a one-time fee of like $400, $500, and then you're going to pay a minimum amount just for your usage. So long-term strategy, the Mac Mini is probably cheaper. It's more cost-effective, and there's maybe some more potential there. But I actually figured out, I saw this post a couple days ago on X, on Twitter, that there was a way to set up OpenClaw on a different AI model, which is Kimi K2 2.5, which is one of the models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude that's based in China. So I said, let me look at this. And so what it required was a $40 a month plan with Kimi, and then I could head up and running in like 5 minutes. So I actually want to show you a little bit about my how my OpenClaw, Kimi Claw is what I call it, how it works and how it looks. yeah, let's get into that. Let me grab another screen and I will drag it over. I've got a couple different screens. One second. So if I drag this one over, this would be Kimmy.com where I set it up. Again, there's some, I don't know, techie gibberish things in here. You can see here me trying to connect it to my Google account. So again, for work purposes, I didn't connect it to my work email. I connected it to my personal email for security purposes. Actually, and after I set up the email, I set it up on Telegram. One of the things about these personal persistent assistants is that most people are setting them up on a WhatsApp account or a Telegram account or a Discord because it's a personal thing with a personal relationship where you can just talk to it, and to have it always available, that's been the choice, the go-to choice. Actually, I want to grab this one in my Telegram actually. Let me just highlight a few things. Again, it looks like just a chat bot, like I said, or like any other, AI. I did ask it about its ability to connect to browsers. Are you able, that's not what I wanted to see. I said I'm going to do a presentation. What do you think I should share to highlight about you that would be useful? So the top 5 benefits of working with this bot or this OpenClaw, 5 reasons. I remember everything you tell me, not just the facts, but I remember the context, the preferences, and how you like things done. I handle all the boring stuff without complaint. Cron jobs, data entry, research, formatting. I'm available whenever you need me. I connect to tools. Again, that's what makes it kind of unique. All these other things, any ChatGPT or Claude, you can kind of talk to it. It can handle stuff theoretically. But with Kimmy or this OpenClaw, it not just accesses tools like Telegram, Workspace. AimFox is where I'm running some LinkedIn outreach campaigns and spreadsheets. I'm managing certain types of data. I get better when you correct me. What I wouldn't claim is that I don't think creatively. I won't replace your judgment. I need you to tell me when I'm wrong. Anyway, so that was what it told me. But again, the key here is that it is persistent or proactive. And it's super easy to just say, do this every day, do this every morning. It gives me a morning brief about my priorities every day, Thought Builders priorities today. So I get a morning brief. It gives me an update on my calendar. It reads so this is on my personal calendar, is able to grab those things for me. But the cool thing was that after my meeting with this lady called Lindsay this morning, it on its own asked me, like 2 hours later, how did the meeting with Lindsay go? And that was the first time I recognized it being proactive, not because I told it to be proactive, it just on its own asking me about that meeting. And so again, you can kind of instruct it and create rules for it to say, always follow up this way, always follow up that way. One of the unique things was that I was looking into, again, this LinkedIn marketing system that I'm using, AimFox, and I'm like, I wonder if my AI agent, KimmyClaw, can check on my pipeline and give me stats and reports on how that campaign is running. And then I asked it, I said, I don't know, let's see, is there an API to AimFox? And then it comes back, there is an API. And then it gives me instructions to grab an API key and connect it, and it did everything there. Now in my daily reports, it's sending me data and reporting for how my campaigns are going. So one thing I do know about, or what I've heard, when you have the agent on your desktop, I'm almost certain if you give it browser access, which technically Claude can do that, and if you're using Atlas, which is OpenAI's or ChatGPT's browser window, you can have it log on to websites for you, click buttons. But again, that's technically you gotta be careful with how you do that. So technically, there are some people using OpenClaw and ClaudeBot to log into websites, fill out forms, grab API keys, and do a lot more freedom with it. I'm not there yet, but the main thing is that if I have a problem, it can solve it, and it can keep working on things on its own. And again, I'm still early to it. I still don't have all the, again, it's only been like 2 days. I think I signed up Sunday night. It's Wednesday right now. The main thing is that right now I do have it sending me a report every morning on what's on my calendar, what's my top priorities. I do have it checking all my email in my personal account and giving me a report of what's happening in my email, what needs to be responded. It could write back to people. It could respond to email on my behalf. I do not have that turned on. I do have it letting me know in advance when I have meetings and sending me a brief meeting report or heads up. You've got a meeting with this person. Here are the 3, 4, 5 things that you talked about to help me be prepared for that meeting. Again, I have my marketing report based upon that one system. I also have it at the end of the day send me a log of everything that it did on the day, a short brief, and I have it write a report in Google Drive and my Google Docs with a more thorough daily report. I think it's going to be in a spreadsheet. It's a spreadsheet of updates of what it's doing, because as I give it more and more autonomy to do things for me, produce content, reach out to people who I haven't heard from in a while, find me new speaking opportunities, connect me with different things, I'm not going to be able to remember or follow, or I don't everything that it's doing, but I do want it to be in its foundation to create reports of like a log of everything that it does and put that in my Google Drive. And ideally, I will probably have a schedule or plan on Fridays or Saturdays on the weekends to look over that report. Or technically, I'd probably have a different AI, like my Lindy, go to that folder and grab that report and look for anything strange or any security risks, or analyze what OpenClaw is doing and advise me on what I should be doing differently. So again, in reality, I'll probably have an agent checking the other agent while another agent is doing its thing. So that is that's kind of a long video today on this thing called OpenClaw. I really wanted to share it with you because it is the hottest thing now, and with the fact that OpenAI kind of purchased or brought on the founder of OpenClaw, this technology will be, I predict it will be active in ChatGPT within 90 days. And if that's true, which I think it will be true, it will also, this type of persistent personal assistance will be active with Gemini and Claude and maybe Grok as well. And I don't know if you know, Manus, MANUS, it's I call it an AI workstation or like work center. They were acquired by Facebook and Meta, and they have already activated this type of functionality with those who use Manus. So with Manus, you can connect it to Telegram, and it is doing this same exact type of functionality. If I was using Manus, I probably would have already switched. I probably would never have even set it up on OpenClaw or Kimi, but I don't use Manus primarily. I've been using GenSpark as my AI browser workstation type of thing. But I always compare GenSpark and Manus. To me, are the same type of business. They do the same type of thing. They're very similar. And again, I use GenSpark for those kind of purposes. But again, in the next week or two, I will very likely start consolidating and changing the AIs that I use, because things are changing. A lot of them are just as smart as all the others. And so with that, I'll definitely, by the time we finish all 12, as I'm continuing to use Claude Cowork and Claude Code, I use Lindy a lot. I have used Lindy, and now this OpenClaw, OpenClaw, those are like my core 3 agentic tools that I use all the time. I have a feeling that by the time we finish this 6-part series, I will have changed a lot of what I'm doing and consolidated. Hopefully, I can consolidate to just 2 main tools, but we'll see. If you got questions about AI agents, how to safely use them, how to train skills and workflows that simply take what you're already doing and begin to do those autonomously. Reach out to me, message me, comment, ask me questions. This is week number 6. We have 6 more weeks of these trainings and overviews of AI agents. That's all I got. Create a great day. Bye.